Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm very excited to film another book review. So the book I finished and I'm going to be reviewing is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. So we are introduced to the story June 15th, 1987, and we follow Ari. So he is 15 and he doesn't really have any friends. So he's on his way to the local pool where he doesn't really know how to swim, but he's going to teach himself. When he's there, he meets a boy called Dante, and Dante asks if Ari needs help learning how to swim. And he accepts his offer to be taught how to swim, and they become friends. So they hang out pretty much every day in the summer. They're both 15, they went to different schools, so they didn't really know each other previously, but they both like hanging out. They're quite different from each other, but they seem to get along well. Throughout the story, they age a couple times. I think by the end of the story they're 17 or 18. So you really go through like their journey with them of growing up. So I don't really want to spoil anything in this book. There isn't really like a plot. This one is just a story about two teenage boys growing up, trying to figure out who they are, finding friends, discovering who they are, and family issues. So it's really just a story about growing up. So there isn't really like a plot line because life doesn't really have, you know, a plot really. Life just kind of happens. No matter what you plan, life happens. So the book is the same. Everything just happens. It's really fun just reading this book. It is really beautifully written. I really liked the writing. I really like the writing. I feel like this is a book, if I were still in middle school or high school, I feel like it's a book that a teacher would give you to read as one of those reading assignments, just because it was really nicely written and it covered a lot of like important things. This is told from Ari's point of view, and in the very beginning of the book he doesn't have any friends before he meets Dante, but he meets Dante like in the first or second chapter, and he doesn't have a very good relationship with his dad since his father was in the Vietnam War and he has post-traumatic stress, so he doesn't really talk at home. So there's a barrier between Ari and his father. He talks with his mom, but he gets along with her, but he really wants to like know his father and just be closer with his father, and he's really just introverted, and I feel like he was probably slightly depressed too. So yeah, but then he meets Dante and he has a friend, and Dante is quite different from Ari. He's a lot more open about his feelings and he gets along really well with his parents and his dad, which Ari sees and is kind of jealous of. So throughout the story, Dante rubs off on Ari, and Ari begins to open up and make new friends. And throughout the story you kind of see him and his dad's relationship slowly change and grow. One thing that came up a lot in the story was that they are both Mexican, and it came up a lot actually that they're both Mexican, but that Dante didn't feel that he was Mexican enough. So even though you are reading from Ari's point of view and is mostly focused on like Ari's troubles and him overcoming that, you also realize that Dante has a lot of things that he needs to overcome and things that he's trying to work through. And one of them is his heritage and how he's not super comfortable with it, and he has to work through that and accept who he is. So the story has a really nice message of trying to learn who you are, and once you learn who you are, you really have to be true to yourself. So that's all I'm really going to go into for this book, since I really want anyone who decides to read it to really just go in and experience everything as they read it instead of me telling you what happens. But it is a really nice story. I really did enjoy it. The writing was really nice, and sometimes it's just so refreshing to read a story from a male point of view instead of a female point of view, just because pretty much every book I read is from a girl's point of view. So thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I now have to take this back to the library.